Welcome everyone to this edition of Looking at Louisville. I'm Chaz.
And I'm Stacy.
And we are going to go on a road trip, and you're going to go with us. But where are they going?
Well, we are going to continue our adventure to Bourbon Country. If you remember in the fall, Chaz, we took viewers to the central part of the Kentucky Bourbon Trail around the Bardstown area. This time we're going to continue on and pick up the remaining 4 distilleries that make up the legendary Bourbon Trail in the Bluegrass portion of the route.
Now, what distilleries are those?
Those are Four Roses, Buffalo Trace, Woodford Reserve, and Wild Turkey. And we're going to do it a little differently this time. If you remember in the fall, we went along with Mint Julep Tours in their bourbon bus. And this time we wanted to show you that you can also do it on your own. So we're going to take my car and take a little 2-day adventure.
Yeah, the Barbie Mobile's ready to go. So
we're going to leave from Louisville, the gateway to Bourbon Country.
All right, let's go.
Right? Well, we made it to Four Roses. We know 1, 2, 3, 4.
And such a beautiful drive from Louisville to get here. It's a little bit less than an hour.
Ready?
Let's go get started.
Let's roll.
The founder of Four Roses, Paul Jones Jr., was apparently smitten by a Southern belle and intended to ask this young lady to marry him. And if her answer was going to be yes, she was to wear a corsage of Four Roses bourbon. And thus the bourbon was named Four Roses. So just take your finger, and I want to put a little bit right there between your thumb and forefinger. And what I want you to compare is the smell here to the smell here. Curious, I've never had.
And now we're going to go back to the Beaumont Inn and hang out a little bit, have some dinner. Well, let's head to the inn, and we'll meet you there.
Let's go. We've enjoyed a wonderful meal here on the campus of, I guess that's what you'd call it, right? The grounds of the Beaumont Inn. I had a wonderful dinner of grilled salmon.
I had the blackened salmon.
And Mark had the tilapia, and we started with the spinach artichoke dip, which was really hot and bubbly when it came to the table. We had some great desserts. We had their signature, which is the Robert E. Lee, which is like an angel food cake with a citrus enhancement. Well, of course, we had, which I think should be their signature, the bourbon bread pudding with a Woodford Reserve bourbon. And Mark had the Derby pie.
If you want to interact with us a lot here, remember you can go to Facebook and check us out. You can do a search for Go to Louisville. You can go to Twitter, twitter.com/Go to Louisville. And of course, you can always send us an email, podcast@GoToLouisville.com.
And for the bourbon fans that are watching this, we also are at Bourbon Country on Facebook as well.
So we'll see you all tomorrow morning.
See you in the morning. Good night. We are here with our good friend, an old friend.
It's actually one of my friends,
That's right.
We all love each other so much.
We do. This is Chris Morris, if you'll remember from a previous episode, the master distiller of Woodford Reserve. So we are hoping that you will kind of take us on an abbreviated tour today and just give viewers a taste of what they can expect coming to Woodford, what sets it apart from the other distillery tours.
We're going to enter the distillery where we'll see our fermenters, we'll see these wonderful pot stills. Then we're going to exit the distillery and walk along Glens Creek. And then one of the highlights of everybody's tour is visiting Warehouse C. Then, hopefully we're bottling that day and they're going to see bottles being filled. And then, yes, Stacy, we'll end up at the visitor center and everybody gets a little dram of Woodford Reserve.
Well, let's get on it.
Let's get started. So we're going this way?
We're going this way.
All right.
As we go from fermenter to fermenter on tour, you will see the different stages of fermentation. As we've developed more alcohol, there's less sugar for the yeast to work on, less grain sugar, so the whole process is slowing down. And it will gradually slow to where this will be as flat as a mirror, and there will be no bubbles on it. And that's when we'll know it's time to distill the fermented mash.
To me, when I walk in here, it almost feels like walking into a church.
The Cathedral of Distilleries, certainly here in Kentucky, because of these high ceilings and this wide center aisle. This is what really sets visually Woodford apart from the other great distilleries on the Bourbon Trail, are these copper pot stills. We not only are the only bourbon distillery using only pot stills, but we're historically the the only distillery to ever triple distill its bourbon whiskey. We're in another sort of a cathedral, and it's Warehouse C. And this warehouse is one of the oldest warehouses in use in the Commonwealth. It dates back to the 1890s, and it's the only one that's made out of 100% limestone. This warehouse heats up slowly, cools off slowly, and it is just a place where the barrels rest. Well, when you finish your tour in the bottling hall, you never know what you're going to see. And this week we happen to be filling our annual Kentucky Derby bottle. And it's just a perfect way to end your tour before you go into the gift shop and do some shopping. So, everybody, thank you for coming to visit Woodford Reserve.
Cheers.
And look forward to your next visit.
Thank you.
We made it to the Buffalo Trace Distillery here in downtown Frankfort, Kentucky, and we are with a very special person at this distillery for a couple of reasons. We're with Freddie Johnson, one of my favorite tour guides ever.
Thank you.
Well, Freddie, I have a few questions for you. I noticed over here there is a prescription.
Yes.
I want to talk to you about that, and then can we go to the barrel house?
Chaz, that works for me.
Right, after
Let's
you.
go.
So, Freddie, you're telling me about a prescription that was prescribed during the Prohibition. Tell me a little bit about that.
Oh, it's kind of interesting. In order to get your product, you had to go to the doctor, and the doctor would write your prescription. That prescription let you have 1 pint bottle every 10 days. The doctors wrote over 6 million prescriptions during Prohibition.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yes. This warehouse that we're stepping into is one of the oldest on the property. It goes back to the beginning of the 1800s. The walls are 2 feet thick. It has an earthen floor. It holds right at 24,000 barrels of product. Take a look. When the barrels come into this warehouse, they will stay right where you see them for the next 3 to 23 years. Okay, so the barrels are going to come in one at a time. We'll drop the temperature down. We're going to chill that bourbon, run it through filters, and then hand bottle it.
Cheers to Buffalo Trace.
Salute.
We made it to our final stop on this Bluegrass region of Bourbon Country on the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, and we have a special treat. We are at the Wild Turkey Distillery, and we are with the man responsible for all of it, the master distiller, Jimmy Russell. Jimmy, thanks for having us.
Thank you for coming. Glad to have you with us. I hope you enjoy your visit with us today.
It's been great so far.
We're going to cross the street. We will see the actual making of the fermentation. You'll see the fermenters as they're being fermented. You'll see it going through the still, coming out of the still, going into the doubler. From the doubler, after the second distillation, and it's going up to our cistern room, where you'll be seeing you put in brand new charred oak barrels, which we have to have. From there, it's going to the storage building, see where it's being stored for the next 6, 8 to 10 to 12 years.
Everything here at Wild Turkey, the day it starts out, it's the same mash bill. The difference
Just
in
age different.
the difference in our product is the age and our taste for each one of our products.
Okay.
This is the storage house where the barrels are going to be stored now for the next 6, 8 to 10 to 12 years. This is where you pick up your color, your flavors and all. When you're charring white oak, you're caramelizing the sugars and the vanillas and everything. Every barrel has to be dated the day it was put in here. We have to know where all the barrels are all the time because we come under the Homeland Security. They're our supervisors. I come to work every day and taste bourbon. and then go home at night and have a drink.
This trip has been a truly beautiful learning experience about
Do you
bourbon.
feel like you know everything you ever want to know about Kentucky bourbon now?
Yes, I do. Well, if they want more information about the Bourbon Trail, where do they need to go?
They need to go to the website, go-to-louisville.com, or directly, if they're specifically interested in the bourbon experience, justaddbourbon.com.
Now, if you want to interact with us in this podcast, it's real easy, as we always say. Send us an send me an email, podcast@go-to-louisville.com. So, as always,
You're looking at Louisville, gateway to Bourbon Country.
see you real soon.